Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. Warmly welcome to all of you with lesson number 2 of our training series of work permit system of Saudi Aramco, and we started yesterday with some of the introduction of all three books: Hazard Recognition and Control, Confined Space Entry, and Logbook Tag and Hold Tag. And today we are starting, the lesson number 2, which is book number 1, Hazard Recognition, and the module number 1. And so for this module, the title is Hazards and Conditions that Lead to Incident. So there are some enabling objectives like Stop Work Authority program and identification of PHC, that means practices, hazards and conditions, which we have to be capable to identify any sort of unsafe or a kind of unacceptable practices or hazards or conditions, unsafe conditions, or including unsafe acts. And Stop Work Authority program is very much important even before you start your WPR training. That's what Saudi Aramco is trying to motivate us, that first we have to realize the importance of Stop Work Authority program of Saudi Aramco. Then we must start learning WPR, all three books. So let's discuss first of all the Stop Work Authority program. The one picture is sometimes more louder than words, 1,000 words even. So Stop Work Authority, that means be fully aware of the Saudi Aramco Stop Work Authority, how to identify unsafe conditions or unsafe behaviors. So you are fully empowered, even no harm to display at our notice boards, even email in our all toolbox meetings, even in safety meetings. We must encourage everybody that they are fully empowered to stop any sort of unsafe work or unsafe condition. So we have to give that particular empowerment to all our employees, including janitor to general manager. So that authority is the key responsibility of every individual. It's not like just you are observing any unsafe act or condition and you are closing your eyes and then something happens, God forbid, because if we ignore unsafe acts and conditions, automatically, the probability of accident will go up, which shouldn't be acceptable to anyone. In the Stop Work Authority, there are some basic rules, and the one rule is which we already discussed: stop unsafe work. And most importantly, the second rule is report incidents. Convincing our employees, like if you are working as a safety manager or as a safety supervisor or as a safety officer, or you are the work permit receiver, the biggest challenge you will have to convince all your employees, to convince them that reporting is important, to convince them to report you on time. That is one of the challenging job, because people they don't want to report. Even the suppliers, contractors, they try their level best not to report anything to Saudi Aramco, because if they will report everything, it will fire back to their business. That's how they are thinking. But if you will not report and work as a team, of course, the repetition and the incident ratio will not go down. That is why it is important to convince our all employees to report and make sure they report particular in writing, or at least to call, or verbally, to the immediate supervisor. They have to report somehow. Now, the most important part about the Stop Work Authority program, that is like no doubt, the Stop Work Authority is no doubt is a designed program, to provide employees and contract workers with the responsibility and obligation. So basically, it's a responsibility and obligation to stop work when a possible unsafe acts or behavior may result an incident. And that is why it is important to understand the basic safety rules like stop unsafe work and also report incidents. So stop unsafe work means immediately stop. It's not like waiting after 5 minutes or 10 minutes or after 1 hour you will stop. It's an immediate stop. That means any unsafe work that has the potential to injure person, damage equipment, or harm the environment, we have to stop. Then report incidents means immediately report. Immediately report all work-related injuries, illnesses, and bear in mind, no matter how minor or they are even too. So make sure you inform to your supervisor and immediately report all fires even at any level, small, medium or large, God forbid, any spills or releases, or even, make sure your supervisor is quite in your range to inform him. And most important part is immediately report any unsafe condition or an unsafe act, near miss incident or vehicle collision to your supervisor. So bear in mind these two important rules are very much important and they are the crux of the Stop Work Authority program of Saudi Aramco. So please help yourself, your colleagues, your company, and help your customer, your salary payer. That means the Saudi Aramco. And sometimes I say we are blessed that Saudi Aramco given us, all the required theories, practical support, all their 85 years experience in oil and gas industry. They have shared with us through different kind of training materials, different kind of procedures, policies, and all that. Even the LPD loss prevention division, mostly they are publishing several kind of safety programs and safety standards and regulations and rules. So we must respect actually Saudi Aramco. Otherwise, if you are the one going to prepare all these things for your company, trust me, guys, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Now, for the Stop Work Authority, there are some references which I would definitely love to highlight here. Make sure you must try to understand three important kind of SWA references like CSM, Construction Safety Manual. Whenever you get time, make sure you study again and again Construction Safety Manual. And then also the SMS, that means Safety Management System of Saudi Aramco, and SHB, that means Safety Handbook. And the Safety Handbook, of course, I'm sure if you guys already work at Saudi Aramco site, so you might have familiar, the small, I just mentioned one picture there. So make sure these three areas, whenever you get time, you have to study all the time, and these kind of a regular study material you would have, inshallah. But if you don't have, just make sure you get it from your safety manager or safety supervisor, or even no harm to discuss directly to the Saudi Aramco PMT. Like, every project have a separate PMT of Saudi Aramco. So talk to them and they would appreciate you that you are a passionate learner and you really want to help Saudi Aramco operations to be safe. And that would be your positive gestures even for them. Now, the Stock Work Authority, we truly need to understand the five important steps of Stock Work Authority. That is, number one is stop uh, any sort of unsafe work or unsafe condition. Notify affected person and supervene. The affected person means uh, the person who is working into that affected area, and also the supervision and investigate the cause of intervention and correct the hazard, and then communicate. That means communicating finding and resume work and follow up. So stop, notify, investigate, communicate, and follow up. So SNICF, SNICF, that's we need to remember. And I just added, what is stop is all about. That means safety takes official priority. No, otherwise, wherever you will definitely see this sign in most of the areas of Saudi Aramco. That means stop. If it is unsafe, stop work and report it to your supervisor. You will get it in a red background, and the hand means stop. Okay. So there are signs everywhere in Saudi Aramco. Make sure you, especially at their site, whatever signboards or warning signs, in other words, or safety posters you look into here and there, or site-specific rules even you find anywhere to be displayed, make sure you understand them better and give importance. So now we are in position to start module number 1.1 of hazard recognition book number one. And we will be discussing in the 1.1 module five important areas like what is hazard, what is safety, unsafe act and unsafe condition, in other words, and safety policy, process and programs, and safety hazards. So we'll be discussing, inshallah, five areas: hazards, safety, unsafe acts and conditions, safety policy, processes and program, and safety hazards. Of course, Now here the question arises: what is a hazard? Before we move forward, please get some time and start thinking what is a hazard, and then we will learn, what Aramco is guiding us actually. And I hope you will get some time to start understanding by yourself. Otherwise, how Aramco is describing the word hazard, we are going to discuss. Aramco says hazard is anything that has the potential cause harm to PEP or PEAB. That means people, environment, assets, and business. So, these all four pillars are very much important for the success, sustainable success of any global brand or business or company, people, environment, assets, and business. So, anything that has the potential cause harm to people, environment, assets, and business. So, these four important pillars, we have to ensure kind of effective safety management system which will keep safe our people, environment, assets, and business from any sort of hazards. Could be safety hazards or health hazards. That means electrical, gravity, motion, mechanical, or biological, radiation, or environmental temperature. In other words, I'm just giving some examples. So that is the ultimate goal. Now, what is safety then? As per Aramco, what they believe is freedom from risk or harm or loss or injury. That is called safety. But on the right side, if you see what is safety, that means is kind of S stands for sense the difficulty, A is apply your mind, F is formulate plan, E is examine the situation, and T is timely action, and Y is yields good result actually. So the best safety manager for your areas, for your safety, you are yourself actually. So you are the best safety manager of your area, your department, your processes, even within your kind of procedural activities. So make sure you ensure your safety and accept the ownership that my safety, my life, my responsibility. The companies can get new employees in a quick nutshell, like they have a contingency plan for everything. So make sure, you always bear in mind that your safety is your necessity. You have to be safe for yourself, for your family, and every day is a challenge not only for you. Even if you are a safety manager or WPR or safety supervisor or officer even, then you are responsible to help others also to be safe here. Now guys, here the question is arise, 100% safety possible, or what do you think? Yes or no? Take some time. 100% safety is possible, yes or no? And I'm sure plenty of you will say yes, and several gonna say no. But whoever is saying that 100% safety is possible, they have a brilliant positive mindset. Even though 100% safety, uh, sometime possible, sometime not possible, but it's a big no actually. Even Saudi Aramco, they also understand, 100% safety is uh, not possible actually in that way to keep it sustainable and maintain every day, every second on each of their process activities, and especially if the activity is like flying an aircraft, or driving or scuba diving. Some examples they gave, and even crossing a street or working in an oil and gas plant actually. So that means 100% safety already is very challenging to make it possible. So in that scenario, what is the right choice? We have to be more careful and more proactive, and oil and gas industry already is a red zone. So if 100% safety is not possible, you truly have to be more careful. And to be very honest, if somebody is thinking yes, 100% safety is possible, truly have a positive mindset, because if you will you have to reprogram your mind actually. You have to convince your mind, yes, 100% safety is possible. So because of that positive energy, at least you will try to ensure 100% safety. Otherwise, if you already accepted that 100% safety is not possible, you will definitely, your positive energy, even 50% will go down. And that means you will accept that, oh, accident still would happen, so why should I be worrying about? It's not a part of worrying. It's like it's a mindset that you have to apply your 100% efforts, and then based on that, see what Allah's the blessings are there, inshallah. Now we are going to discuss, the another part of program and processes of module number one, programs and processes. Even Saudi Aramco understands that 100% safety is a big question mark, but still, to support us, to support their brand, to fulfill their legal responsibility, they have created, a lot of safety standards, even this training programs, observation processes, and even reporting processes. Now, for safety standards, their focus is employee evaluation, that the right person for the right job, and training programs. If the employees are not fully competent, of course they will plan some safety courses, has a recognition, gas testing, safety orientation. But safety orientation does not mean just getting sign on the attendance sheets and no lecture or just a pre-recorded 2 or 3 minutes video. That's not kind of a full safety orientation. You have to discuss some of the practical dangerous scenarios, different kind of historical background of each area, what can go wrong and what areas are more sensitive, and how the upcoming new employees, the newly joined workforce, how they have to be carefully behaving, into that area. So observation processes is covering job safety analysis, joint set inspection, that means JSA, JSI, and hazard analysis checklist, that means HAC. So JSA, JSI, HAC. So that's all comes under observation processes. And reporting process, Aramco encourage us to report all sort of injury and also incidents. And that is why Saudi Aramco established and developed, a lot of programs and processes, and they uh, 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 just divided into four different segments. Like one set of, that is why Aramco have a lot of GIs, a lot of kind of policies, rules and regulations, all comes under safety standards. And you can't follow the safety standards until you have a proper training programs, especially if you're not having internal safety training plan or third party training plan. Of course things wouldn't be in control. So you have to train again and again, and there must be refresh training for all your workforce. And for the third party trainings, of course you can contact to us, even for work permit receiver as a prerequisite requirement. The preparatory classes, still you can come to us, and we can arrange at least 1 or 2 days, and then you can send your workforce to a third party training institute, for 4 days. And this will help that there wouldn't be any chance of failure, inshallah, because they'll be fully prepared. And the last is reporting processes. As I mentioned, injury and incident reporting must be done by every individual, and they must take that responsibility willingly acceptable to them. Now, another topic of module number one is unsafe condition annex. So look at the picture, how the unsafe condition looks like, and then unsafe act. Otherwise, you can understand here this unsafe condition, and this is unsafe act standing, and what is near means still you are safe, nothing has happened to you. But this side, even the near miss example is there, is fell down because of the breaking things, and but you are still safe. But if you are not safe, then it's accident. So through this picture, I'm sure you will have a clear understanding what is unsafe condition, what is unsafe act, how the near miss looks like, and accident. So if still there is any confusion, please let me know, guys. But you truly have to be capable to understand. Some of the unsafe acts as per Aramco theories, like they mentioned, operating equipment, without proper training or certification. Like you have a forklift, you have a crane, but the operator is not certified, and still they are operating is unsafe act. And removing a disabling safety device, or using defective equipment, or taking shortcuts and not following checklists or procedures, Failure to scare lotto for prevention or protection, in other words, improper use of equipment, and also unsafe condition. Few examples like inadequate guards or safety devices, unsafe walkways and walking surfaces, or even damage, defect, incorrect equipment, or even this extreme kind of weather. Sandstorm, heavy rains. Like nowadays, there is a chance of heavy rains also. So even unsafe conditions can be developed naturally, God forbid, because nature is more powerful. Sometimes it's really hard to control natural disasters. And some of the unsafe acts, even more examples we can highlight, like operating equipment without authority or certification, failure to warn or failure to scare. Like you have full body harness, but you don't know how to wear it, and how to use anchor point, or you have lanyard along with the full body harness, but this lanyard you are not using the anchor point, and operating an improper speed, or making safety device inoperable, removing safety devices, using defective equipment and poor maintenance, and using equipment improper. That is why Aramco created a safety policy, and what I would call it loss prevention policy as well. And what that policy is talk about, everybody is responsible to know their safety responsibilities actually, and also they have to be capable to identify and eliminate hazards prior a job, and taking safety courses. This is your responsibility, is part of the safety policy. And policy is a framework, is a promise, is kind of a commitment which you publish. Like Saudi Aramco as a brand, they have published with all the stakeholders that they will take care of all these things, but the contractors, direct or indirect employees, all have to take this policy very serious. And because it's a kind of a zero tolerance policy, so follow safety procedures, standards, and rules. Be prepared to respond to emergencies. Be prepared. So it's a proactive approach. It's not like, even sometimes I say the prevention is better than cure, but instead of waiting for the emergencies, you must have established and develop a system which will prevent from emergencies, but still be proactive, be prepared to respond to emergencies, report incidents to help others and avoid them in future. So that is our kind of important obligation, especially when we are serving to Saudi Arabia. Now, what is safety hazard? The last topic of module number one is why do people take shortcuts on the job? So, guys, you can ask yourself, you can just pause, stop, and start think why people love to take shortcuts. Like some of the reasons I can elaborate here, it's kind of a human nature. As per Saudi Aramco, also they endorse that people love to take shortcuts. You know, they want to save time. Sometimes they want to make their boss happy. Sometimes it's a human nature to do job as quick as possible to go back to their home. And the only problem with the shortcut is every time it's hard to be lucky. It's almost impossible to be lucky every time. Like you are breaking safety rules, and every day you are expecting nothing would backfiring to you. Of course, it will fire back. So that is why we have to be like, and sometime I say your top management, your supervisor, your manager, they are the one enforcing you and allowing you to take shortcuts and ignore safety regulations to meet some deadline. So they want to meet the deadlines and avoid penalty clauses from the customer. Like when we sign any contract with Saudi Aramco, there are some penalty clauses, so every project have some deadlines and the target dates and all that agreed mutually. But if you will not meet, of course, Aramco have a right as a customer to put some fine penalty clauses. But if you believe you can't meet the deadlines, again sit back with Saudi Aramco and tell them you are lacking something, and might be they would be your helping hand instead of hiding this situation and taking shortcuts and creating disasters for your company and even for Saudi Aramco, because one accident sometimes can destroy everything, your brand, goodwill, the people, everything we can regain. But what about the human lives? Like one Makkah incident, tower crane, still we remember the concerned brand, they're crying for business. So safety is everyone's responsibility. We have to take it very serious. So that is why, as per the module number one, we must be familiar what is hazard, what is safety, And what is unsafe acts and unsafe conditions is most like a terminology and kind of definitions into this, and what is LP policy or loss prevention policy, and how Aramco is encouraging us to follow stop work authority, how they are giving empowerment to every individual to stop work if they believe there is any unsafe acts or unsafe condition. And why Aramco is doing this, guys? Because poor hazard identification and control, resulting in nearly uh, 3,000 non-fatal and 4,000 fatal workplace injuries, and even the direct cost of injuries at work, like worker compensation claims, medical costs, total approximately is $250 billion annually. So if Aramco can save that much money, they can initiate a lot of new projects, right? So basically, there is a system. There is a system for every activity, every process in Saudi Aramco. But what if you don't have time to properly stop on each checkpoint and verify and validate that all the safety regulations are well fulfilled? Then you move on. So this is your responsibility to ensure either to avoid accidents or to welcome them. So guys, this was all about you know the uh, the module 1.1 of Saudi Aramco Hazard Recognition book number one. And tomorrow, inshallah, I'll try to upload another one, the module number 1.2. But the summary of 1.1, we can say in module we have introduced Saudi Aramco Stop Work Authority. We try to understand the hazards and conditions and how they can lead to an incident. And I'm sure you would have been able to describe this Stop Work Authority program now, how to identify practices, hazards, and conditions that can lead to an incident, such as what is hazard, what is safety, unsafe acts and conditions, safety policy, processes and programs, even safety hazards. So make sure that is the crux of module 1.1. If you still have any confusion, please comment, and otherwise WhatsApp me. You can note down my WhatsApp number is already there. And for work permit receiver preparatory classes, before you go to the third party training institute, you are more than welcome to our training center, and we will get you well trained inshallah as a WPR before even you go for a third party training, and even you go before you go for Saudi Aramco final exam, as a WPR. Thank you very much for your learning passion, and every day I'll try to upload one by one all the lectures related to third party training. So we are available all the time. We recently started Jana Training Center. You are warmly welcome to join our training programs, and I'm sure it will be very much helpful for all of you, inshallah. And especially for work permit receivers preparatory classes, we are offering just 1 day course, because here I'm uploading one by one lecture, but in 1 day we will give you a lot of knowledge related to all three books, and you'll be capable to join third party training institute with the zero threat, inshallah, because nobody wants to be failed, and we will try. Your success is our energy, your success is our success, actually. So inshallah, anytime, it's a very minimal cost, minimal fee, like we are charging only 500 real per head for 1 day training of all three books, and we will try to make sure that you will be quite easily passing, inshallah, the third party uh, exam in third party training institute, Aramco approved, and also you will be capable to pass, inshallah, Aramco exam later on. So one class we have only for third party training preparation, and one class for Saudi Aramco exam preparation. So anytime you are free to join our classes, you can WhatsApp me, and accordingly we will send you the schedule. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. And tomorrow I'll upload the lecture number 2, 1.2 module.